Yes, people. What's going on? It's Ugarte Talks Football. We're back again with another video. And today, what we're going to be talking about, of course, is the Community Shield, Man United versus Man City. Zubimendi to Liverpool. Will it happen? Will it not happen? It looks like Liverpool might get rid of Stefan Besiktas. I forgot how to pronounce his name. Why did I say Besiktas? That's a club, and that's not his name. I forgot his name. Any Liverpool fan watching this, please tell me how to pronounce that guy's name because I'm terrible at pronunciations. Also, Eddie Nketiah looks like he might be headed to Marseille. We're going to talk about Solanke. Dominic Solanke for £65 million to Spurs. And of course, Chelsea are doing mad things right now. They've signed 45 players, plus they're about to get Pedro Neto over the line, and they could be getting Victor Osimhen over the line also. All this plus more on Ugarte Talks Football. We got a wonderful panel for you guys. Let me introduce them. First, I got my boy Vader in the building. Vader, what are you saying, bro? Canada just got a gold medal in the 4x100 meter relay. We're living life. What are you doing?
Large up. It's all about the collective. It's all about group effort, team effort. Canada doing big things.
I'm happy for Andre de Grassi too, because he's gotten silver, bronze so many times. Finally, he gets a gold.
Yeah, I mean, for the relay, it's huge. I mean, they did it at the world stage, but the Olympics is another level, man. So yeah, I'm loving life. And hey, the curtain raisers this weekend, so we'll talk about it.
There you go. Also, I got Matt, Arsenal fan, who wants to join on into the fun. Also, you know what? I might send you the link. I'll send you the link. Just jump on when you're ready. Next, we got Rich in the building. So Man City play Man United. So we have to bring a Man United fan on to talk about the Community Shield. It's tomorrow. If you guys didn't know, the Community Shield is tomorrow. The season's about to kick off. We're only 7 days away from the season starting. Rich, how you feeling, man?
We got the same team as last year, pretty much, because we thought we were going to get all these signings. We got one in, really good player, got injured. I think Xerxes is going to be the only change, but we might be in the same situation last season where we don't have enough centre backs or left backs. So it's
we never have enough. We never have enough
players. It's crazy. We got the opposite problem.
Unless you're Chelsea, because Chelsea signed 100 players. Ahmed, how you feeling, man?
I'm doing good, bro.
You've signed this window. You've officially signed your. If you include free and loan signings, you've signed your 15th player.
Yeah, but like the reality is, like half these guys aren't really our signings. They usually just go to Strasbourg, which is like our secondary club. So it's not all. Wow. The vast majority of them are not even our signings. I feel like 5 of them are pretty much 5.
So. Hey, bro, you guys gotta watch out. This could catch up to you somehow. FFP or something mad might happen. You never know. But we'll talk about it.
Maybe.
We'll talk about it. We also got Matt in the building, an Arsenal fan. Obviously, I gotta try to be a little bit neutral if I can be. So I got Matt in the building to give you guys some of the Arsenal perspectives on things. But before we go any further, let's just quickly get this out of the way because we don't want to spend too much time on Man United, Man City, do we? Like what? It's a Community Shield. Is this really going to be a big game? Are you expecting Man United and Man City to be playing like this is mid-season form? Because when we used to see Liverpool, Man City in these games, when we used to see Arsenal, Man City in these games, or even when you see Man City versus other teams that have been in there, in those games with you, did you think those were ever really like rivalry type games? No, but is the Man City Man United game going to be a rivalry game for a preseason friendly? What are you thinking?
I mean, I'll say this: it's always a Manchester derby, so it's never just it's just another game. It's never just it's a preseason or it's a charity shield. These are two hated rivalries, and if you ask many fans, they're gonna like, I don't want to lose to them. I don't want to lose to these guys, no matter who's on that pitch, right? And I think it's going to be a tricky one because every City fan is going to be like, I don't want to lose to United. Even though this game, quote unquote, is kind of meaningless as it dictates who wins the league, because many seasons the loser of the Community Shield has had no ill effects with regards to winning the league. But I don't want to see a United fan happy on Saturday. So, we'll talk about the potential 11s. We'll talk about what might happen between manager and manager. But whoever Pep decides to put out there, I would want them to play well, and I would want the win.
First question is, before I go to Rich, Matt and Ahmed, did you guys even know the Community Shield was tomorrow? Honest truth.
Yes,
not particularly.
I actually did. The only reason why I knew it is that I have a friend of mine that's actually going. to the game. So like he ran me last week. Literally, the Community Shield is then. So that's the only reason why.
I feel like it's a competition only if your team's in it, you care about it. If they're not, it's like you try to ignore it. But I'm gonna watch. Don't get me wrong.
I know about it every year.
I actually feel like it's
because he's in it every year.
Shield. Yeah, I mean, Community Shield wise, it's actually just a good thing for the team. The week before the EPL, it's a good almost like a step up game to actually get yourself ready before the EPL. So I usually say it's not a bad competition to be in. If you're either side at the end of the day, to see where you're at.
You know what? Everyone in the comment section, let me know who do you think is going to win, Man United or Man City for the Community Shield. Personally, I don't know how many City first team players are back, ready to go. Is Rodri back? Are some of your best players back? Like, what's going on with Man City?
No, I mean, shout out to Spain.
You guys been playing a bunch of kids.
Yeah, all preseason. Shout out to Spain. They just won the Olympics. The men's football team.
Crazy game, by the way.
Yo, ridiculous. That was entertainment right there.
4-3 in extra time.
Yeah, and those goals were quality as of late. When you ask who's gonna be back, who's gonna play, I mean, Haaland and KDB, they've been back. We're still waiting to see Rodri, Walker, Stones. Like, I don't know who might be playing. But before I answer who would be the 11, I'm also gonna ask you guys this, as you brought in reinforcements claiming to be all non-bias, Egal. Did you care about winning it last year? I see Matt scratching. Matt's kind of. Did you care about winning it last year?
That's a good question.
At the end of the day, right? It was mostly about getting one over Man City rather than actually winning the actual trophy itself. Because I felt like if we beat Man City, then we'd have a better chance of beating them in the league, and that
it was the psychological
was
thing.
proven because we did beat them at home and we didn't lose to you away.
Mm-hmm.
It was a psychological thing. You guys had a psychological edge over us. We just needed to break that.
Okay, all right.
Man United already beat you in the FA Cup, so maybe they don't need that. Personally, I hope you guys win the Community Shield because the Community Shield curse is a real thing. Yeah, every team that wins the Community Shield never wins the league.
I think it's true. So I remember in the 90s, we won it most years. Whenever we won it, we didn't win the league. And so for me, I think the only time I really wanted to win it was when we played Liverpool in the mid-90s. But apart from that, if we're not in it, I probably don't watch it.
What about you? Rashford's out. Rasmus Højlund's out. Yuri Nani Euro's out. Aren't you kind of concerned? You're not ready for the beginning of the season either.
No, it's ridiculous. I mean, this is like the best sort of pre-season game you can have against Manchester City, the best team in the Premier League the last few years. So I'm looking forward to the pre-season because we played Liverpool, we played Arsenal, we played Man City. So we got high quality pre-season, but we're seeing picking up injuries. Really disappointing that Yoro got injured. So I'm really looking forward to see how he does. And looking at our squad, we're exactly the same as last season. There's a lot of hype and expectation, and it does look like we'll get some of these transfers over the line. But because everything seems to be intrinsically linked, PSG want this sort of amount of money. Manchester United need to sell players and it's going to drag because everyone's like trying to get the best deal at the moment. Like Everton are wanting too much for Branthwaite. Manchester United are trying a different approach where we say no, that's overvalued. So we're dragging it out because we want to get better value. So looking at the team, we're going to be the same team as last season, pretty much, apart from Luke Shaw out injured. I'm wondering who our centre-back partnership is going to be because I think Maguire might be injured as well. We'll have to double-check. I don't want to see Evans. I definitely don't want to see Casemiro there. But I was looking forward to the game thinking it's going to be a good test because whatever City team put out, and Beatty can say what he likes, whatever City team go out, it's a good set of players. It's going to be a good team, and it's going to be quite a good test for our team. Whether it's like what you consider backups, I think they're still going to be very good players. Yeah. And it might be the last time for Ten Hag to try and test a new way of playing. We've been trying something different in pre-season, trying to play. Well, you saw the disaster last season, trying to maybe get our team playing a bit better. And this is a good test because Fulham game's not going to be easy. And like I said, the season starts quickly and we still haven't got these transfers over the line.
Before we do any predictions, I just want to know, did anybody see Anthony's quotes?
Yes.
He said, rest assured, you'll hear my name, Antony, in relation to goals and assists this season. And then did you see what Domino's said to reply to him? Domino's Pizza basically said, I wouldn't trust him to deliver a pizza.
Wow.
Look.
Wow.
Oh,
Credit to Domino's. That
I
was
am
good.
literally ready to come back to that quote in maybe 6 months' time, and he will be on less than 5 GA. I cannot wait to come back to
You
that
have to
quote.
back yourself, but wow.
But I feel like he does that every season, man. He comes
Yes.
up with these big quotes, and then he just gets crashed upon because he can't, like, match the, what's expected of him. So, like, sometimes it's better to be quiet. You know what I mean? Just keep it pushing.
Be humble,
Big-
innit?
Big up
Speaking
Jay.
of
Jay, we're
sometimes
just
trying to
talking
be
about
quiet.
the community shield, and we
Yeah.
were just talking about how funny it is. Antony promises to deliver goals and assists, and then
He will.
Domino's takes this out of him.
He's like, I actually have a soft spot for Antony because I went to watch United versus Tottenham when they beat us 2-0, and Perisic was playing, and Antony, that is probably the best game he played for Man United, and I happened to be there, like, to watch it in HD. So I when people are like, he's shit, I'm like, yeah, but there's that game that he kind of destroyed my team, so I can't co-sign that, I'm afraid. So, but yeah, he's an inverted left back in training. We'll see that at Besiktas in a few years.
That's
Don't worry
kind
about
of
that.
how I feel about Rashford. I went to a game where Rashford was absolutely amazing. We still won 3-1, but Rashford was really good. You know what I mean?
Well, have you done predictions?
No, we're actually about to do that now. But I feel like you can't really predict this game because if I show you guys what the predicted lineups are for these games, like, they don't even know who's going to play. Like,
Look, apparently a 17-year-old Harry Amas is going to be starting. I mean, who else are they playing left back?
It's Garnacho already, by the way. I haven't watched your preseason, so I don't know if he's going to be
Okay,
ready to
so
Yeah, I'm sure, but I think Amas, they've been talking about him for at least a year and a half because he is very highly rated and he has been playing pre-season. But I think the idea is that he's probably about 6 months behind where Mania was at the same age. So he's going to get, I imagine he's going to get games this season, and he is one of the people are looking out for. But it's a kind of poor that we don't get cover for left back. He shouldn't really be thrown in the way Mena and Garnacho were. We shouldn't be doing that to young
full
players.
strength.
No, City won't.
Hold on. Is this confirmed?
I don't think
this
City
is the estimated lineup based on who's available.
Based off, some of these guys have not barely played in preseason.
Yeah, Xerxes just come back as well. Like, he didn't come back.
But
Højlund's injured.
This won't be the
it looks like Xerxes might play.
Man, they're going to be playing Cheetah Obi Martin.
1 second, guys. Jay wanted to say something. What were you saying?
Yeah,
Jay?
I'm saying this won't be the City team. City will be weaker than this. Like, this is a lot for, like, Pep. I think, from my point of view, I don't think he's thinking that some of these players need to be starting until match week 3, match week 4. So he's certainly not going to throw them into a high intensity game off the back of minimal preseason minutes. So
I was just trying to give the people in the comments and yourselves a kind of idea of what they're estimating for this. Arsenal last year, we went relatively full strength because a lot of our players we didn't have a summer tournament because, of course,
we went full strength, Egal, because we got most of our signings in quick.
No, you went full strength because you guys love a preseason drubbing. You love kicking someone's ass in preseason. You love it.
They need the preseason trophy, man. The preseason trophy.
Arsenal 4, like Seville. Arsenal 3. I'm like, okay, chill out, guys. Save some goals for the season, So.
Yeah, we slapped up Chelsea, Sevilla. This year we beat Leverkusen pretty bad.
I do commend your ability to crowbar Arsenal into the Man United versus Man City preseason community. It's a skill. It's a skill. You're gonna have to teach me.
Listen, you always have to find a way to relate your experiences in life, other things. That's how you do well in interviews, star format. Anyways,
main character syndrome. That's what the psychologists would call it.
All right. Let's get it back though quickly. If everyone just gives us their thoughts on the game, because I'm looking at it right here. The computer has 2-1 prediction for Man City. What you guys?
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, listen, you put up that lineup. It's difficult to predict who would even start for Manchester City with regards to the charity shield or community shield. It's also just as impossible as it would be for any of us to kind of predict a starting 11 for Chelsea with their 30 plus players. But in this upcoming game, I'm going to I'm going to think that Pep's going to still test a few players like a Nketiah, like a Oscar Bob, even like Rico Lewis to play in a match or play in this derby. But the outcome, all jokes aside, the outcome is going to be irrelevant. It's going to be a matter of Pep being able to see these players play with the instructions that he's giving them to know whether they're going to be adequate or ready for the upcoming season. So,
V, can I ask you something? Right?
Yeah, man.
Do you think Oscar Bob is Julian Alvarez's replacement? Because I think you'll replace Julian Alvarez internally in terms of your academy.
So the reason why I can't say that it would be a replacement is because Oscar Bob is already on the squad. Julian Alvarez has now left. So if we were to get a replacement, I think we'd have to go out and get somebody. I think Oscar Bob was always going to remain with this first team, even though there were rumors, again, Chelsea sniffing around to get another player. But I think Oscar Bob was going to remain with us. And Julian Alvarez, everything that I'm hearing, we aren't getting a replacement for him. So an advantage that we had with regards to having Haaland and Julian Alvarez, again, both of them came to Manchester City the same year. So when Pep went from we're doing the false nine to then investing in a striker, he invested in two, right? So I don't think we're replacing him. He's probably going to find a solution amongst the squad. We still have, in my opinion, to find someone within the midfield because, as you know, Arsenal fans, you hate hearing this, but the man with the mentality in terms of Rodri needs coverage, and I think we need to go out and get somebody.
All right. Let's get Rich's take on this. What you say? Wait, Vader, how did you go that whole time without actually giving a prediction?
My prediction of the 11. I said I can't predict the 11. I really can't predict the 11.
Okay, so
this is politician talk, man. This is politician talk, bro. Come on, man.
You know what? I mean? Fair enough. I think let's just hear what Rich has to say on this, and then we can kind of just go through everybody's takes on what they think is going to happen, and we can move on. Because really and truly,
I see you, man. I'm gonna get you. Relax.
It is quite fair because we won't know what the teams are going to be like.
I think we might have a better idea of what Manchester United are going to put out, and it's going to be similar to pre-season because we have that lineup you put up there. I'm looking at that and thinking Xerxes is going to start because Holland's injured. Our centre back partnership, that's pretty much all we got left. And then if we're playing someone to make like a mass coming in for this game, it's a worry that we haven't got cover sorted out because we've been focusing really on Mazraoui and De Ligt in the transfer window.
Can you fact check this?
Yeah, sure. What's that?
This is crazy.
I think actually Manchester United might do okay in this game because they might have been played together more the last few weeks. So, but I don't think that's going to bear out in the season. This is just maybe like Vader said. I think Man City will have fewer of their starting 11 available or willing to play in this game. Manchester United will, just by necessity, like Rashford didn't play for England, so he's definitely going to be in there if he's available. And I think Manchester United, there's a few players who got a point to prove. I think I predict a draw if I was going to put anything. I think it would just be a cagey game where they both coaches want to experiment with a few things. Ten Hag got it right in the FA Cup final, so there is some room for improvement and try and get. Well, we don't have a lot of new players, which we were hoping to see, because this was going to be the showcase for Yoro, Xerxes, and if we got Mazraoui, I think that still maybe would have been the Fulham game if we'd have got him over the line. So I think it's going to be one of those games where, as a Manchester United fan, I'm going to be interested because if Amas plays, it's great to see if he lives up to a lot of the hype. It's crazy early, but it'd be interesting to see what he does in this. He's looked quite good pre-season, but it's one of those things where he's quite good when he's going forward, but in terms of off-the-ball work, positioning, awareness, it's just the sort of thing that you get of experience that he doesn't really have at the moment. So he does kind of get bypassed a bit.
Are you interested in Berge? Is he the guy that you want, or would you rather go for and try to go back in for De Jong or something?
I think the main target was Ugarte, but the PSG price of 60 million euros is too much. So that's kind of on the back burner. I think what it's going to be is whether they can negotiate the price down a bit, because PSG have got their man, João Neves. They're looking to move Ugarte on. So at Manchester United have got the different options. Zubimendi was one I did quite like the look of. It looks like Liverpool might get that over the line, unless Zubimendi's club want to keep him as well. They're trying to get him to re-sign. Berge is actually not a bad option, depending on the price. I know people look at it and go, he played for Sheffield United, Burnley. Okay, he got relegated, I know, but skill set wise, he's actually quite a good player. Whether he's going to be a starting player, certainly Manchester United actually need a few more squad players. we like Casemiro and Eriksen quite aging. Someone I know has watched Berge live a few times, said he's actually, his strong physical presence in midfield. He's actually maybe a better player than people give him credit for because of where he's played. But I think you look at it and go, you can get Berge and you can get Fofana for Monaco, and that would be the same price that PSG want for Ugarte. And I think those two players make more sense financially at the moment in terms of improving your squad. And I think Fofana is quite an exciting player, a bit more creativity. Because our problems like last season, despite being poor when we give the ball away, we're not creating enough goals. We scored 59 goals, I think, probably about 25,
you guys been
30
struggling
less
to score goals the last couple of years.
I think someone like Fofana's got more creativity.
Shipped a lot of goals as well.
Defensively, I thought they've been better than offensively, at least.
Can I just throw in like two major points that has come up? One, I'm not sure what your name is, sir, but you have a world-class radio football pundit voice. Like I don't know if anybody else is listening. I don't know if anybody else is listening to this guy talk. Like if I close my eyes, you could be like some Spanish correspondent on BBC 5 Live or something. I swear to God. So yeah, keep that tone of voice up. Secondly, there's a thing there's a thing about level of play. Like everybody, I feel scouts are lazy. Scouts are getting lazy because what's happened now is fans understand profiling now. So any player somebody puts up to you now, you can say, "Wow, they fit the profile." The profile. Just look at his profile. The team and it's a cop out. What Chelsea are doing, we'll get to them in a second. It's a cop out, yeah, because the scouts are meant to select the very best. That's the whole point. If you're not selecting the very best for what you're trying to do, yeah, you're not doing your job. When I look at players like Sander Berge, I'm like, okay, is that the solution, or is that I'm gonna have to solve this again in 18 months? I'm gonna have to solve this again in 3 years, 2 years. Do you see what I mean? He isn't the solution. So to me, I see these kind of players, and I'm like, I think it's lazy for a project to get that even that player, played under the radar, doing well at Burnley. It's Man United. Do you know what I mean? It's Man United. Is that the best profile we can do? Like, why are we buying for depth? The first team isn't good enough yet. Buy for first team, and then the first team players become squad players. Like, why are we buying depth?
I agree. I think the approach is. I was going to say, I think the approach is that Manchester United wanted Branthwaite. Everton asked for too much. They got Yoro, which was a great signing. And I think Manchester United, they want to get Ugarte. Berge is there with Amrabat, as if everything goes wrong and we need someone as an emergency. For me, that's what I think. They want Ugarte, but they want to lower the price. So Manchester United, I think it's just posturing that they're going, we're not going to accept your first offer, but they're going to just try and they want Ugarte, but at a lower price. So I think Ugarte
is the wrong player.
Even Ugarte, I watch a lot of League One myself personally, other than the EPL, and he has really struggled, like in terms of the physicality of that league. So my big worry is
passing is terrible.
Yeah, because he can't even pass that. That's like another thing entirely. But like if he's gonna come to the EPL, it's gonna be quite it's already a physical league, very comparable to Ligue 1. I just don't understand why you would target him specifically. That's my issue. Like
that's a good point, because people were saying that. I know there's a few people that are 100% bought in and like Ugarte is going to solve some problems, but he was benched, wasn't he, in the Champions League when PSG were playing? I think
he's been benched in the league too, Rich, as well. He's been,
the PSG are looking to move him on. These are not good signs that PSG want him out. So when they said they want him out and then they asked for 60 million, these things don't add up.
The thing is though, they want him out, but like I think sometimes as a player I'm a positive first when I look at players. You very rarely hear me like really. I never call players shit because I'm like, these are people performing at the highest level of football. Even if I don't think they're good, I'm never going to disrespect them like that. But you'll see people, and we'll be talking about like players in the context. I will look at a Ugarte, and I'll look at a team when you get set up. It can make your qualities hidden and really showcase your weaknesses. And playing in a Luis Enrique side, that's if I had to say which team is going to expose Ugarte the most as a player and showcase his biggest flaws as a player, I'd say a Luis Enrique team. Do you know what I mean? But a year previous to going to PSG, he was a highly sought after player. Do you know what I mean? So do you lose all your shine in 1 year because you went to the wrong choice with the wrong formation with the wrong style of play?
That's harsh.
Have you now lost all of your ability? That's the point.
The thing is though, like even when he was linked to my club last year, like I knew that he, like, even if we watched him at Sporting Lisbon, he wasn't really even a passer there. So like those are like qualities that I known about him while he was at Sporting Lisbon. I actually think the physicality stuff came when he went to PSG, which was like that's like the new aspect that kind of got shown about it in terms of like his weaknesses per se.
But I think people in the comment section comparing Rice and Ugarte, that's a false comparison. You really can't do that. I think
physically.
I think Rice is a much more of a driver. He's able to drive with the ball from distance. I don't really see Ugarte do that. I'm not saying Declan Rice is an amazing passer. We all know he's not somebody who makes ball-splitting passes every game. But when it comes to progressing, he does progress the ball a lot better than him. But yeah, let's quickly move on though. We do have to talk about Tottenham and Chelsea. Community Shield. Do you guys want to give any predictions? Because I really don't think there's no point. We can't really predict it yet. Let the season begin before we do predictions. But let's get straight into the main one. They're all linked. All these transfers are linked. But the transfer that's linked to majority of our clubs is Pedro Neto to Chelsea. Pedro Neto was Man City were interested.
Wait. Another player rumored to go to Chelsea.
No,
he's already gone. He's already gone. He's already gone.
They signed him.
They're signing players every damn day. What is going on here?
They signed Neto.
They signed Neto.
It's not true, but
today.
Okay.
Have you seen? Sorry, Igal. Before you continue, have you seen the show Hoarders? Have you ever seen?
Yeah.
I feel like we're witnessing this in the Prem.
I opened the cupboard and then Angelo fell out. You know what I mean?
Yo, Igal, can I send you a graphic real quick?
This is crazy, man.
Which one is it? The 55-man team.
He's talking about.
Can I just open on Neto, because I really, as a Spurs fan, you know, we've been linked with Neto and this and that, and I've had a chance to think about it, and I've thought about it, and I think, on the one hand, good/very good player, yeah, he can actually turn up in big games, a lot of value. On the other hand, signing Neto showcases how much of a liability Chelsea's sporting directors and owners are. Because from a financial and business point of view, you cannot justify making that deal. You can't justify it. Neto has missed 50% of the last 3 seasons. Yeah? 50%. So the thing is that you are gambling. Yeah, you're literally gambling £50 million, yeah, on this player staying fit. Yeah? Like, to me, that's a big gamble from a sporting director. From a manager point of view, yeah, 100%. Want this player in my squad, great player, got to keep him fit. But from a transfer point of view, £50 million, yeah, it's a lot of money for a player that's like I would consider Ryan Sessegnon, yeah, injury prone. Yeah, I would consider Ryan Sessegnon injury prone. Sessegnon's only missed 100 more days of football than Neto in the last 3 years. 100 more. So that's 1 month a season for the last 3 seasons. Yeah, one guy.
Bro, you're being extremely harsh. Pedro Neto is an amazing player, and when fit and available, he's a game changer.
I think for me,
at no point have I critiqued Neto the player. I'm saying he's a great signing, good player. I'm saying to do that deal, that's nobody else wanted to do that deal. You've done that deal.
I understand where you're coming from, but I think the issue for me becomes, you know, if I look at the current options for me on the left wing, because I think that's where he's going to be playing for us. Is he better than them for 20 games? If we played 20 games last season, if I'm not mistaken, and 20 games of him is better than me having to see 38 games of a Mudryk or a Sterling on the left wing. Like realistically speaking, that's just the that's just the reality that we face.
What's the price tag?
Well,
Apologies. What's the price tag?
50 million.
63 million euros.
It's
about
50 million basically. It's 51 million plus
let's say it's 51, 52 million, 50 million.
Yeah. And again, for me, I would take that deal over having Sterling and Mudryk, in my personal opinion, for 20 games, and then having Sterling maybe show up for 5 games, and then the rest of that I can at least rely on the middle part of my squad and the right wing.
I've not even gotten into the Kennedy's.
So for the third year in a row, they've gone out to get a left wing player.
Bro, it's not even, no. I'm not even counting all of the wingers they've got. Now they're saying that this guy is going to play off the left wing, right? He's played the last few years. He's predominantly played right wing, but okay, he's going to play left wing.
Both, but yeah.
So are we saying that's worth 60 million? Is that what we're asking?
He can play both wings, yeah. But listen, they have so many right wingers. Kennedy's come in, Esteval's come in, yeah, like.
But they're not going to start straight away. But again, I feel like yes, we can say they're coming in, but those guys are 18 years old. It's not going to they're going to start straight into the squad. Of course, you need to embed them. You know what I mean?
Okay, listen, Neto's
it would be foolish of the foot. Yeah, I would just say it's foolish. It would be foolish, in my personal opinion, of the club to throw in 18-year-olds into the start 11. Without actually giving them time to actually acclimatize into that.
Well, is that not what they've been sold on to sign? Like, you're going to be part of the first team squad. You're going to play games.
Yeah, but they're not going to be starting straight away. They can.
All right, one second. Let's just tackle what Jay was saying, though. I think a lot of people can agree with Jay on his point that he's a good signing if he stays fit. But because
it's a good signing.
But because of the 51 million pound price tag, that is a ridiculously hefty fee for somebody who is that injury prone.
I wouldn't even necessarily. I'm not even saying he's necessarily.
Is he worth the price?
I'm not even saying he's injury prone. I'm saying that when you miss that amount of games to spend 50 million pounds, it's a real gamble. Like, what,
Jay, it might not be a gamble anymore because maybe that medical staff has figured it out because they've got Reece James, who they've invested so much medical hours in terms of trying to keep him fit. Maybe the learnings from that they're going to apply to Neto. And they'll be able to have a good season this year.
So do you guys think he's worth 51 million?
I think fit Neto's worth more than 50 million.
Yeah, he's worth more.
Chelsea, this could work. This could definitely work out for Chelsea, and it'll be a great signing. He is a quality player. I like the player. I'm just saying. I'm looking at Chelsea sporting directors, and I'm saying
I agree with you. By the way, on that aspect, by the way, bro, I actually agree with you.
You're doing this deal. It's like. It's
completely out of nowhere as well.
I think for me, they've been looking for someone to play on that left wing. Okay, fair enough. But they've been playing on the left wing. They've been looking for someone on the left wing for quite a while, and they've not minded someone that can play both on right and left. So obviously they've done him in secret. Which, listen, sometimes this club is good at doing stuff in private rather than doing it out in public, which I personally am not a big fan of. I'm pretty sure many of us would not be a big fan of that either. But, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, we need a player like him. Hopefully, again, the medical department knows what they're doing now because we've got a brand new medical department. They've actually done a lot of good work, in my opinion, what they've done with Reece, at least coming and making him come back, giving him the time he needs to stay fit and everything like that. And I think, obviously, with Neto, his issues have been, at least as of recently, hamstring issues. And the club has kind of been getting guys that are a bit more specialized in that department to make sure that he's fit enough. And again, for 20, I will repeat this again. If I get him for 20 league games for me, over Sterling and Mudryk's currently who they are, and in the style of play that currently Maresca is trying to do 1v1 wise, I think that's good enough.
With that logic, why didn't you just keep Pulisic?
The thing with Pulisic was he wanted to leave, and the club themselves don't like him, and that's what it came down to. That's what it came down to, bro. I personally, and I also personally feel with Pulisic, his body didn't suit the league. What I mean by that is that, he kept on breaking down. If you actually watch him in Serie A now, which I watch a few times myself, he's actually like the league's not hurting him that much. He's actually been playing quite consistent football there, and he's been doing all right. So big up to Pulisic.
I think
it's like if he stays fit, man, it's a big signing for Chelsea.
It's a big if. It is a big if.
Let me bring everybody in, but before we do that, yes, my fans are twerking for Mudryk.
You want Mudryk, bro? Listen, I've got a deal. We can make a deal, bro. I can make
What are you
that happen for
saying?
bro.
20 million?
25, man. 25, we got a deal.
I
for
think
you.
the club would pull the trigger
22.5.
quickly.
I'll do that deal.
I think anything under 30
23.5, we got
million.
it.
I think Arteta and Edu still value Mudryk highly, but I
But it
just
is.
think
No, but
we
on a
cannot
serious note,
continue-
on a serious note, though,
we cannot try to compete and go
Yeah.
get Mudryk as our wing
Yeah.
option this window. It just don't
you
make
know where
sense.
it's gonna be, Ugarte, on a serious note with Mudryk. I feel like with Mudryk, this season is kind of like his last.
He's a confidence
chance.
player.
It's not even confidence, but I feel like with the club, see him as a last chance saloon player. Like this is your final season
Yep.
to actually do something, and if you don't, hey, if Arsenal comes calling next summer, bro, you can get him for 20 million. I think at that point.
Look,
But
at the end of the day,
Crazy.
right? Like, I think Egad would probably agree with me in that I just want someone
Mhm.
better than Reece Nelson as a Saka backup. Like, that is literally all I want. Is just someone that is reliable, that is better than Reece Nelson, because Reece Nelson is not at the level we need.
I'm
to
surprised
be,
you haven't
you know,
gone
pushing
for
for a
Bakayoko,
championship.
bro. I'm surprised you've not gone for Johan Bakayoko from PSV.
We were linked to him, but
He's
it hasn't gone there yet.
fabulous player.
Let's not make this about Arsenal. Let's keep on Chelsea. Rich,
Right,
you
fair
got
enough.
anything else to say on Pedro Neto before
I
we
think
move on?
it's potentially a really good deal for Chelsea because he's a quality player and they're going to have potentially a very exciting front line. I think there is a risk, but you look at the last 3 years. I think he missed a lot of games 3 years ago. It's slightly better last season. I think it might be one of those things that I know Harry Kane a few years ago had people questioning his injury issues. Then he went 3 seasons, barely missed a game. Sometimes there are some medical things you can do, and you can look at what's causing the player injuries, and the player can actually take action to prevent some of these things if they're reoccurring type things. So
Exactly.
the medical staff obviously they've got their reputation and expertise, and I'm sure that Chelsea have looked into all these issues because they're spending that much money on a player, and there's a lot of upsides to it, and I think it could be a good signing. But it's one of those things. There is a bit of risk, but maybe kind of mitigating that by doing the research. So hopefully, from a Manchester United perspective, it doesn't work out too much because I think Chelsea might be one of those players that are going to be sort of fighting for us to try and sort of close the gap on the top four. But I think it's a good signing. And they get it over the line very quickly, don't they? You don't hear anything about it, then it's just done deal. So
It was done within like 30 minutes. And also,
No, it wasn't.
I
It's
knew
been-
about it. I
it's
just
been-
thought, like, here
No,
we go.
that's
It's
not true.
done.
Actually,
Like,
quickly, bro.
Is it not?
No, so Nizar, like he's like one of our number ones. We've been actually negotiating this since May, apparently.
Oh,
Since
wow.
May, we've been negotiating the
Jesus.
player. Yeah, we've been actually trying to do like a player swap deal involved, like trying to give them Thatcher Fofana and even Chalobah to Wolves, but eventually went down to cash deal.
Look, I've got a question for you, right?
Mhm.
Have Chelsea sacked their medical staff that
Yes.
was the problem last season? Because if you haven't, then I mean, that's
Yes,
the
we
major
have.
problem,
We've brought in
surely.
a brand new medical staff. Also Maresca's brought in some guys that himself that so I don't know if people know this, like Ricardo Pereira is a good example of this at Leicester, consistently getting injured, didn't even get injured once at Leicester City. So he actually is very good at maintaining players and understanding each player is going to be different. And I think that's one of my biggest issues of Poch was that he kept on making these guys do the same thing, not realizing that each player has a different level of of fitness, a different type of body as well. So that was my predominant issue whenever when it came down to Poch.
But
It's
it's
looking like
also,
an
you know
exciting
how you
season for
said,
Chelsea.
it's Modric's last season? I think it's Reece James's last season to show that he's not broken.
I agree, by the way. I've said this before. Listen, I already got Augusto there. You know what I mean? I've got another backup right back, for him if Reece James becomes injured again. So listen.
The captaincy could be a curse. You never know.
People will say that I'm hating on Chelsea, and I am. But the thing is that with a lot of these players, the thing I'm looking forward to and I'm most grateful for this season is that a lot of these players have nowhere to hide.
I agree.
I've seen a lot of positioning by Chelsea fans about how good they think their players are. And I think first and foremost, I think we'll find out how good Chelsea's defense is this season. Because having played with Ange and stuff, we can see lots of goals. And I'd like to think a lot of our defense is actually really good. And we still concede a lot of goals. So I'm saying now, when we see your formation with defenders that I think are inferior to our defenders, you get put in a lot of one-on-ones. You get put in a lot of, you have to be thinking while you're running. And I'm really interested, if it doesn't work out, what you do defensively, because you have a lot of centre-backs. You're already sending centre-backs away. Fofana, is he going to be ready for the new season?
I don't think he's going to be ready this season, by the way. I'm going to just put it out there because he's come back from an ACL injury. It's, a lot of these guys, they do take like a year, even
Tosin
He looks good. I'll be honest. He's actually been looking quite out.
But the thing is
Yo,
that
Jay, while you're talking about
lowered your
that,
expectation to such a point now, because I'm like the Chelsea that I know and hate. They would never sign Tosin, and this is what I mean about profiles now.
But bro,
like,
can we be honest? I want to make this a little bit honest. Yeah,
on,
we are not in the urban era anymore. Like I don't understand.
What is this era? What's
this
this
is?
era
Well,
now?
it's This is it's called the Todd Bowley era, right? Like, but like what I mean by that more so is that in the previous era, we had ownership that was willing to spend as much money as he wanted, letting the club be in debt to him, willing to spend all that money because he loved football and wanted to win. Right now, it's kind of different in the sense that we're being run like a business now. It's a completely different scenario. So that's the thing for me. Like I've come to realize that already. So like. Once you accept what it is, it's now then about how can I then, within this new system, at least try to win a trophy, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I'm just gonna try to segue this to another topic quickly. If Chelsea now go and get Victor Osimhen, and they have Pedro Neto, Victor Osimhen, and all these other players, and Victor Osimhen is also linked to them on loan in a swap deal for Lukaku, with an option to buy. Does Victor Osimhen now make Chelsea not only top 4 contenders, but in the foreseeable future, a threat for the league? What are you guys saying?
No, because their defense is shocking. Chelsea's defense is absolutely shocking. Like,
well, what about that front three?
He's probably Chalobah.
I feel like
wouldn't that front three be one of the better front threes in the league? Pedro Neto, Cole Palmer, and Victor Osimhen.
That I'll agree. Yeah.
Nkuku's going to be playing in the 10 role, bro. Nkuku's 10 role.
Where's Palmer playing?
Right wing.
Palmer's on the right.
Right wing. Right. Palmer on the right.
Okay.
So how high do we rate that front three?
So Dewsbury Hall's bench. Yeah.
No,
Dewsbury Hall doesn't get bench. He takes Conor Gallagher's role.
He takes Conor Gallagher's role.
So what about Lavia and Enzo?
No.
Lavia has to
play. Dewsbury Hall is gonna be a bench player. I think that's what's gonna happen.
I think
he's not gonna
be.
No way.
I think you probably. I feel like he might.
Okay,
because that was one of Enzo's first signings, wasn't it?
The problem right now with Chelsea is that we've got so much depth right now in midfield with like different guys.
Depth.
You know what I mean? It's too much, bro. You know what I mean? It's too much.
You guys don't have depth. You have
Enzo. No, we have really no. I disagree. We actually do have depth in midfield. Like we've got.
No.
Like that's what it is. Like this is now we're entering the role of you know what I mean? Like,
bro, help me, because you got to help me understand this, yeah? Because somewhere something's gone wrong, and let me explain to you why. So you just said Dewsbury Hall is going to be a bench player. I was like, okay, cool. So Andre Santos,
that's not that. That's
right. So Andre Santos, who could have come off the bench, was purchased for like £20 million like a year ago. Yeah. So now he's being loaned out again, right? So you're buying players on top of buying players, like, so you bought Samu.
But again, bro, a lot of these guys are going to be flipped.
If you can get Osimhen, why buy Samu? Because now Dewey needs to go on loan. Even if you want,
but the thing is, like, listen, even I myself have a hard time keeping up with the players. Like, okay, I understand that aspect too, but like, I think, like, if I'm trying to like at least think from where they're thinking, without giving my own opinion, they're trying to flip a lot of these guys, and their business model is we get them for cheap, then we flip them for like a 10 to 20 million profit afterwards, right? So that's pretty much what they're trying to do with vast majority. Now with KDH, he may not be a bench player, but the only reason why I've said he's a bench player is only because we know one person's got to invert into the midfield. Then you're gonna have one CDM that's gonna be a 6, and whoever's gonna be is gonna be Nkuku, then someone else afterwards. Now, for me, I would, So we have
what you think is a guaranteed midfielder at Chelsea.
You spend £100 million on midfielders.
No, but again, I told you, bro.
Let's look at this. Let's look at this. So they got Enzo, Dewsbury Hall, Caicedo, Chukwuemeka, what's this guy? Leslie.
No, it's Leslie. Yeah, go ahead.
Lavia, and then the rest of the guys are not playing. These 4 are not playing.
Okay, so wait.
Caicedo is the only guaranteed
These
starter
4 are
at
not
Chelsea.
playing.
They basically got 4.
Okay, well,
they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 midfielders.
So Cassidy is already gone. He's about to go to Fiorentina. If he doesn't go to Fiorentina, he's about to go to Napoli.
Yeah, I didn't count him. I didn't count him.
Fair enough. and during as well. Like probably
I'm not counting it.
Yeah, he's at
So
sports.
I'm only counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Ugarte is about to go out on loan. I
counting
think
these
to
6.
Now
So
you know what's
Ugarte
insane, yeah.
Ugarte
You know
is
what's
about to go.
insane? This midfield cost over £300 million.
Vegas is not even a midfielder, by the way. Vegas is actually not a midfielder.
But you know what?
He's actually a left back.
Dewsbury Hall, Enzo, and Caicedo is the midfield. Why are we lying to ourselves? That's the midfield.
Enzo and Caicedo are definitely going to play, but
And
then
Lavia,
I disagree about that. I disagree that Enzo will play.
Lavia is going to be rotated in and out. Lavia is going to be rotated in and out. I think Chukwuemeka and Leslie are designated bench players.
No, Leslie's about to go out on loan to Everton or Fulham. Apparently.
Oh shit!
Yes, that's what I'm saying to you. So like, there's guys actually leaving the club. So we're probably going to be left with only Enzo, Dewsbury Hall, Caicedo, and Chukwuemeka. Vega is actually a left back. He's actually meant to be with Chua and Kukurea because he can play.
For me, right? For me, Caicedo, Dewsbury Hall, and Nkunku, that's your midfield. I don't see Enzo starting in there.
I think because because they brought so much money for Enzo, they're gonna probably have to start him, bro.
Enzo's vice captain. There's no way he's on the bench.
Yes, they brought him for so much money, bro. They can't literally not start him.
But guys, let me just stop everything there quickly. Bring it back to the if they get Victor Osimhen, where do you rank Victor Osimhen, Cole Palmer, and Pedro Neto?
I mean,
would you put that up with City, Vader?
No. On paper, it looks really good, but when you actually, then potentially watch it, it might not look that good.
It depends. I kind of disagree. I think with the system we're playing right now, Neto will look really good in it. Palmer would look really good in a 1v1 because that's what we're creating 1v1 opportunities on either side of the wing, and all we need to do is just cross the ball to Osimhen, literally, and that's what he does. He just stays in the box, which he does at Napoli. Because Kvaratskhelia, all he was doing back in Napoli was creating the 1v1 opportunity for himself, crossing it into Osimhen, and Osimhen was just doing the tapping. But he's not obviously as good as Man City. But he's not definitely as good as Man City.
Rich, Jay, are you guys worried about Chelsea now?
I think top four. It's difficult to say how it's. I've looked at Chelsea a few years, and you always think they're going to do better than you look at their squad and think they should be performing better than they were. Like last year is a good example. They were mid-table for most of the season. I don't know. It's difficult. I was going to ask you, how do the players go up in value if they're just loaned out? If you've got a business model how do you buy a player for 20 million?
Good example of that I can give you, Amari Hutchinson. We've got him for free. We sent him out on loan to Ipswich, balled out. He went from 0 million to 30 million for us.
I feel like
we got some money off it too.
Yeah, listen, win-win situation.
But I feel like that, to me, that feels more like the anomaly to the rule. Like if you look at let's look at it. Most of the monies that you're making are coming from academy players that value had they were on an upward trajectory.
I get what you mean.
So you mean like Maatson, your Gallagher's, even
I think
your
that's
Trevor's,
only.
but you only have a finite number of those players.
I agree with you.
Out of those players to sell for that money.
This is why I think Hero could be off.
I feel like for me, I get your point, and that's correct. Yeah. I don't really like academy players being sold by the way either. Yeah. So, I think that's a short-term thing. Again, I feel like that's really more so a short-term thing because they've only bought these guys. They've only been at the club. This is their third season at the club, so they've only bought these guys from last year. So I feel like wait a season once we actually sell these players and see how much they've been sold for before I feel like we can start making these comments about it's actually worked.
Bro, I'll keep it real. I
think
think Chelsea are 3 years away from seeing any level of major success. Like you guys are not looking at instant success.
I don't think we're gonna win the EPL title in the next year or two. I know that too myself. I feel like again this season should be
3 to 4 years down the line. That's what I think.
I think maybe 2, 3. I would actually just argue. I think it depends again on hopefully if the team improves and then I don't really feel like you need to add any more into the squad at this point. In my personal opinion, maybe 1 or 2 if anything goes wrong, and then I think you'll be all right. Honestly.
Hey, all I know is guaranteed January and next summer you guys are gonna sign 2 more goalkeepers. But we'll move
There's
on.
There's no way that's happening for Big Up.
You're gonna need another goalkeeper. But moving on, guys. Dominic Solanke is headed to Spurs, and Jay must be gassed. You guys got your Harry Kane. You guys got your Harry Kane replacement, English striker.
I see what you're trying to do here. And
English striker. Formerly played in another English London rivals academy. He also played for Liverpool. He's now been at Bournemouth. He's been around the block, done his job.
All right, chill out. Is this? Are you trying to big him up or
Yeah,
drag him
former
down?
common player too, man. Former common
I'm
player as well,
passing
man.
up. Former, he said he's a former Arsenal fan also growing up. He
Like Harry Kane.
Everything screaming Harry Kane 2.0. But yeah,
Hey,
Rich,
listen,
I know you gotta go. I appreciate you jumping on. Ahmed,
bro.
I know you gotta go soon too. Appreciate you. Vader, you leaving also?
No. I'm just saying what up to the fellas. Nice meeting
Yeah,
you,
if
Red.
you guys gotta jump out, you guys are
fans.
free to jump out whenever you gotta go.
Cheers, Gal, cheers, everybody
If you
else.
have
I
any
think
words on the Spurs
it's-
section,
it's maybe a good signing for Spurs. I thought they may consider a move for Tony because I know Brentford are trying to sell him
they
off.
could
and he
still
might
get
be a bit
Tony
cheaper.
also. You never know.
If
Yeah,
they
same as-
offload Richarlison, then yeah, I could
Hey,
potentially see that. But if they don't, then...
Relax.
You like
Richarlison's not going
Richarlison?
anywhere.
I'm being realistic. If you,
Nah, bro, Richarlison's not
bro,
going anywhere, bro.
if you offload Richarlison to Saudi Arabia, right?
Why
You can get Tony.
Why you gotta be so hasty? Like why are we offloading Richie? For what?
I want to actually ask the question. Are you like a big fan of Richie? I'm actually surprised. Like, I don't.
Listen,
A lot of my
thing
Tottenham
is-
fans that I know, they're not big
right,
fans
so,
of him.
so my thing is
If
like
Richard was younger, Chelsea would be after him too.
yeah, exactly.
No, we will not be after him. We actually did not target him
Right.
when he was available, and Tottenham. got him
Okay,
from.
so
If Eddie and Nketiah
thank
played in
you.
the French league, you guys would have signed him.
No way.
Well,
Early
He's
by
going
centre
there.
back.
He's going there.
Early centre backs early. Centre backs
Nah,
early.
so the thing about Richie is like, I think last season he impressed me a lot. Like I think he did well. He was just injured. Like he scored like I think 11 goals in the league. Like so, I was like in like 25 games, and a number of those were like subs. So I was like, the guy did well. So now if you bring Solanke in with Richie, now you've got two number 9s that can score, and you add in basically 20 goals to an attack that scored. I think we scored 70 something goals last season. So it's like we're adding 20 goals and you're taking no goals away, really. You bring a winger in as well, and now the attack is getting there. And for me, that's why Richie is valuable, because if I look at the market and I look at who's out there, who do you want to bring in to replace him? You've got Solanke. At least keep Richie. Have both of them for a season. Have actual number 9 depth. And Son can play there too. So you basically got a forward for every scenario. Play Kulu there, false 9 if you want. So you've basically got every type of striker. So for me, it's a big transfer, but I want to keep Richie, because if I was to sell Richie for Solanke, I think the major difference between the two of them would be that Solanke's fit for the season. Would I tangibly be seeing an increase in goals if both of them played 9 for a season? I think they'd score a similar amount. Like, do you know what I mean? I genuinely think they'd score a similar amount for Spurs. So I can't sell Richie and buy Solanke and call it an upgrade. So
You think Solanke and Richarlison
what?
would score the same amount of goals if they played the same amount of minutes?
No, don't let Jay get away with that. If you were
That's
to lose,
insane.
if you were to lose Richarlison and have Solanke, that's an upgrade. Of course it is.
No, Richarlison his issue was availability. It's not. It's yeah. So it's an upgrade in terms of he's available, but it's not necessarily an upgrade in the quality of player.
No, Solanke's a better quality player as well.
Yeah,
Richarlison missed sitters after sitters.
No, Richarlison played well last season as a 9. Like, as in, like, it's to me, I'm like they have different qualities, like potentially similar levels.
Solanke's better though.
I think Solanke's got a high ceiling. I like it. Yeah.
65 million pounds you're spending on Dominic Solanke. I think he's worth that. How much did you spend on Richarlison?
Me, we spent 50 plus add-ons.
Dominic Solanke has done more in his time at Bournemouth than Thing ever did at Everton, in my opinion.
Yeah, but
I disagree with that.
I think
Richarlison got about 10 to 15 goals consecutively. I don't think Solanke's done that.
Solanke scored almost 20.
Solanke scored 19 last season in the league.
But like I'm talking about consecutively.
Yeah, but
Solanke's had 19 goals last season. 6 goals.
Are
the
we
year
really
before,
having a
3 goals
conversation
the year
on
before.
who's better between Richarlison and Dominic Solanke? Like,
Let's
really?
not do
No,
that.
listen.
Solanke's better.
Listen, I'm once again like Richie had great numbers when he was fit. Like his issue was he was injured. If he'd been fit all season, I think he would have probably bagged 20. Like he had a number of injury issues last season. Solanke's a very good forward. I just think you guys are sleeping on Richie a little bit. It's not me trying to
Johnson
drag.
only missed 8
Solanke down.
games. He only missed 8 games.
To be
Richarlison.
fair, he's right
Yeah.
because Richarlison.
Oh wait,
Richarlison,
no, don't worry.
Richarlison has had better seasons up until this season, but I think Dominic Solanke going forward, he's also 1 year younger. He is going to be the wait. They're the same age. What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think Solanke's gonna do very well at Tottenham, but I just think I actually like Richarlison. I think he's a good striker.
But
Underrated.
pressure's on Tottenham now. That's 350 million spent in 12 months.
Why are you pocket watching? Why are you pocket watching?
Only reason it took Arteta 3 years to spend that type of money.
That's true.
And nah, bro, you're spending egregious amounts on left backs. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. You bought Timber, you bought Zinchenko, you bought.
Bro, we spent.
Who did you buy, bro?
1 second. You spent 2 million less on Archie Gray, who's a championship player.
No, we spent 40 million pounds on the future of our midfield.
Yeah,
like, let's get it right, guys.
We got 42 million pounds for the Italian Maldini, bro.
Right angle.
We spent 42 million pounds on the Italian Maldini, as my boy just said.
Listen, all I'm gonna say is that Spurs, we're trying to do our thing. We've got our project, big season. It's that's what I'm saying. People are looking at us this season. People are expecting us to do something. You know,
what is something?
No more free hits.
Something.
Something is win a trophy.
Okay,
Which
that's
won't
what
happen,
people are
but-
expecting Spurs to win a trophy this season.
I'm expecting us to win a trophy.
No. But sorry, you were saying
League
people
Cup,
are
FA
looking
Cup?
at Spurs and saying,
I've got my eyes on the
something.
Europa.
Oh, you know how difficult it is to win the Europa League.
Hey, listen.
Speak on it, Miguel. Speak on it.
There was a team that went invincible last year, went to the finals and lost.
Yeah, but there's no drop downs this season.
They didn't lose to a drop down team.
No, what I'm saying is there's no drop downs this season. So the competition is the competition. So the teams that are in the competition to start the competition, that's who your opponents are. So you basically looking at
the teams that drop down don't always win. It's just sometimes those Spanish teams that drop down win.
Hey, no, listen, it's going to be a good competition, but I'm sure United fans are looking at it thinking we're going to win this competition. I think there's other fans in other leagues.
I wouldn't be surprised if no English team won any European competition this upcoming year.
Well, that's up to you to not disgrace England, isn't it? I'm sure my club will do our job. Do you know what I mean?
What is news?
One second, what is Tottenham done?
Breaking news.
What's the breaking news?
So Real Sociedad are looking to offer Martin Zubimendi and Mikel Merino new deals that will make them the highest earners at the club.
Oh my God, you're fucking kidding me.
What? It's breaking news, bro. This
just ruins Liverpool. 2 clubs' transfer plans, Arsenal and Liverpool at the same time. I believe Zubimendi might actually agree, but Moreno, he's already turned down 1 deal previously, and he's already said that he wants to join Arsenal.
Nah, bro, I reckon they'll both leave.
You think so?
Yeah, I reckon they will.
Well, they're going to make sure it's worth them leaving.
Well, yeah. Price tag, I mean, they can't really do much about Moreno because he's got a year left, and he wants Arsenal and wants only Arsenal, and it's pretty much deal done.
What is the release clause?
They can probably ask more because I don't think Liverpool would pay the release clause because the majority of that money has to be up front.
Yeah.
So I don't think they'll pay the release clause.
Oh man, all I know is if Zubimendi goes to Liverpool and Moreno stays somehow, we're mudded. So we need to make sure we get Moreno over the line.
Moreno's a must.
Arsenal.
But you know what?
Actually headed into the Premier League window, right?
They don't want to sell Zubimendi, but since when do they want to keep Moreno? The fuck?
I think it was
they can't lose both, can they?
Well, losing both is unacceptable because I'm sniffing because Spurs still need a winger. So like I'm looking at Kubo too. So I'm like, listen,
get out of here. Bro, we're all raiding Real Sociedad.
Nah, I mean, like, I feel like Arsenal's need is the. I mean, I don't really know. Arsenal, Merino, is that such a unique profile? Is that such a hard profile to find?
Bro, left-footed midfielders that can do pretty much everything at a decent level is difficult to find.
Yeah,
He
fair
also
enough.
is the best duel monster in the world, which Arteta likes.
So-
So
Hold on,
Oh,
hold
yeah,
on,
I
hold
forgot
on.
about the duels.
Honest question here, you Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
Is he an
People are
equivalent?
saying, what's the source? The source is coming directly from a Spanish reporter.
it's coming from a guy called Dave. Dave, like a reliable Liverpool journalist. Dave OCKOP.
Oh, cop, come on.
Yeah.
So is Moreno okay, we're getting back, you guys are getting back to your ways when Granite was there, or is he an upgrade?
I don't think Moreno's an upgrade on Xhaka. I think he's just last year we didn't have a left-footed left midfielder.
So do you guys look at that and be like, yo, bored, what's going on? You guys aren't even leveling up, you're just kind of maintaining because this player isn't actually
No,
better
we
than
need at this point we need players to come in and hit the ground running immediately. We cannot afford to sign another 70 million pound young player that's going to take 3 to 6 months to get ready. We need ready-made players, and I feel like adjustment period. It's easier for the guys like Jorginho, Trossard's a little bit older, so that's why Mikel Merino. It makes sense. I would love to get a Zubimendi and spend that money on him, but he's completely a different player. He's like he's going to cost you a lot more, and he's going to be a 6. Where we're looking for somebody who can play both and has the physicality and is also left-footed, so we can naturally just put them in that hole where we had a lack of balance last year. I think Mikel Merino brings a lot of balance to our team.
Look, on what Egal said, he's pretty much right. But also, I wanted to add at the fact that I think half of this signing is also to do with the pathway to Ethan Nwaneri, because I don't think we would sign a player under 25 like an Onana, for instance, if an Ethan Nwaneri was there and that pathway is there for him. So I think half of this signing is to do with that.
I don't think it's all about Ethan. I personally don't think they're always looking at the pathway. I think they're also looking at the fact that Partey and Jorginho are going to be leaving next year, so we need to bring in a midfielder this year, regardless.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. Yeah.
Regardless, we need to bring in a midfielder.
It.
But quickly, just going back to Tottenham, Arsenal, quickly before we go any further. We both are now interested to Eze because Pedro Neto's gone. We're both kind of looking at Eze. What are you saying? And also, City's looking at Eze also. All 3 of our clubs are looking at Eze. Yo, what's going on with your boys? You guys want Eze also?
Listen, Eze is whatever to me. He's a good player, but
who's gonna go to? Who's Eze gonna go to?
What do you mean? Why are you acting like you guys are actually gonna pony up the cash that Palace want up front? You guys ain't down for Eze like that. You're nowhere near down dropping 60 million pounds this window for Eze. It's just
all I know is we're just about to get an influx of cash.
Bro, you're not spending 60 million.
Why?
We're about to get some influx of cash, bro.
From what?
Jay, there's.
Oh, you don't know?
The release clause is completely different for us than
he
for
doesn't
you.
know.
Why?
Marseille's coming in for a new bid for Eddie Nketiah.
Right. Look, listen, I'm saying, listen, all you guys are gonna do is sell Nketiah and then cycle those minutes around players currently.
Hold on, you think we're gonna
buy
let Nketiah leave and we're not gonna bring nobody into the club?
I think that's very plausible.
Really?
No.
How many minutes was Eddie getting at the end last season anyway? Barely any. Poverty minutes, even with Jesus injured. Poverty minutes.
I think he played almost every game when it was close.
Trossard can play the 9. Havertz, obviously. Jesus. I think
Nketiah played 27 games last year for us.
We will sign the replacement.
Okay, hold on.
Because of how highly rated he is.
He played 27 games in the league.
Yeah, but how many of those games was Jesus missing for?
I don't know.
Probably at least, I'd say 2/3.
Jesus missed like 10 or 15 games.
As a coming to either of our clubs, which one do you think he thinks is most attractive?
I think Man City is probably the most attractive landing spot. Second
Okay.
Arsenal.
Where does he?
I think Tottenham would be attractive for him as well.
I think the reason why it would be more attractive at Spurs than Arsenal than City is because of starting, because of being almost guaranteed to be a starter. That's not
You
happening
don't
over
think
at
Eze
Manchester
starts
City.
at City?
No, who we dropping? When we look at our best,
Long-term replacement for Kevin De Bruyne, maybe.
yeah. So he would be worked into the system, and I think a year one it wouldn't be him. It would be because he'd be competing with a midfield that already has KDB and Foden, right? And if
Can you
you're
also believe his age as well? He's like
No.
26, 27.
I thought he was 26.
This is crazy.
And again, he fits the homegrown, right? So that's a
Yeah.
plus for many of our clubs.
Regardless, the most pressure on signing another winger or attacking player is on Spurs.
Yeah.
City,
Yeah.
they could live without signing one. Arsenal, although I want to sign one, and it would definitely benefit us massively in the upcoming year, I think we won't fall off a cliff offensively if we go
Spurs
to the
could,
next season.
Spurs, like the thing is Spurs could live with it. People talk about Spurs' attack like it's absolute dog shit or something.
No, but
Spurs,
you need more quality, Jay. Why are you downplaying it? You acting like you're stacked up.
No, I'm acting like
bro. For God's sake, you guys signed Solomon. You guys
listen,
are
I'm acting like
desperate.
if you look at Eze's best two positions, yeah, number 10 left wing, right? Those are his best two positions,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So we've got Son and Maddison in those positions. You'd argue that the right wing is a greater need than that position. So to me, I'm like so Neto is not getting Neto is more irritating to me than not getting Eze.
Jay, you're a joker.
Why don't you guys
Jay, the other day,
Eze wouldn't start over James Maddison.
I think that people are. I don't think Maddison's has played as badly as people have made out. He's had a little bit.
But he's had a purple patch.
No, Maddison's been doing this for 5-6 years in the Premier League.
I don't think he starts over Madison. You're right. But one thing I will say is there is more pressure on Spurs to make more signings to improve their team rather than City and Arsenal. That was my point.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the
specific player. And also one thing people need to understand as well is Eze could be very capable of being handed the keys for a top 4, top 6 side. But it's one thing thinking the guy can do it, and it's another thing giving him the keys and him then running that attack. Yeah. And running it to a level that is consistent on a week by week basis. That's another question, is that if you want that, is giving Eze the keys gonna move the needle rather than giving Maddison the keys? I'm like, even if you want to say that you prefer Eze, it's negligible. Do you know what I mean? Like the difference is negligible. Like I don't think people would be saying, "Oh, either player is absolutely clear of the other, regardless." Right?
No, that's all fair. But Jay, you need to stop this, because every time Jay wants to do a comparison, he's putting his boy Son at striker or left wing. When we were having the conversation about Julian Alvarez,
it's not my fault. Equally good. Equally good, bro. Don't blame me. Blame
goodness. He can't play on both positions. So when we talk about additions to your squad, Son has to play in one place.
Well, we've got two strikers now.
Solanke is better than Julian Alvarez?
I don't need to talk about it anymore. Sonny's a left winger again.
Wait, do you think Solanke is better than Julian Alvarez?
I think that if you gave me the option to sign both players for the deals that you have to do,
Jay, here we go.
I may just take the Alvarez deal only because I can't be the arse with arguing with strangers about the merits of picking Solanke over Alvarez. That's all I'm going to say. Neil Maupay with ball striking has earned himself an £80 million move. So I'm going to retire that description of him. 95. And I'm just going to say, let's see how he deals as with being a leading man. Let's see how I think Atleti, if they play a 4-4-2, that's the best kind of formation for him. Playing with a bigger striker in a 2, combining rather than playing as a 10. I think it's a lot of money.
Do you guys think Solanke's
can I give you a broad assessment of your attack, right? So I've been in a few Spurs spaces, okay, because I've got a few mates.
I'm sorry for my fan base, but continue.
Okay, right. So they have been telling me that they would like to see 16-year-old Mikey Moore start on the first game of the Premier League season, and you're telling me you have a decent attack.
I'm telling you that's a
those people are
generation.
illogical.
I'm telling you that's a generational kid you're talking about, because you don't
They're
bring
literally grown man. No. They are grown men.
What it is
He's
to bring
generational.
youngsters under Arteta, the dictator. Listen, I like Arteta. Mikey Moore is one of those.
Arteta played the youngest player in Premier League history, by the way.
Pardon?
Arteta.
Yeah, where is he? Where is he now? Where is he?
He's still on the team. Ethan Wanera.
Yeah.
He's going to be.
When
He's
has he
literally
touched
promoted to the
pitch again?
first team.
When has
He
he
played a
touched
lot
it?
during the preseason. You'll see.
Okay.
Well, listen,
He had that youngest player debut, and then we didn't see him since. But
No, he played
Man
4
United, and
minutes
he's
in the
going to
Premier
cook
League last
you.
year. He played 4 minutes last year, by the way. Anyways, Jay, you were saying that guy's generational. We got to wrap this up, but are you serious?
Who's generational?
You said Mikey Moore is generational.
Who's generational?
You said Mikey Moore is generational.
Yeah, I'm saying this is a kid. Yeah, this is like, for me, this kid is like a Joe Cole type kid. Nah, like maybe like not quite for. I'm gonna go Joe Cole. He reminds me a bit of Joe Cole when I watch him play and stuff. And I think that, like, listen, some of the Spurs fan base, they want certain players to play, and everyone's got their own opinion. You know, Kulu can play right wing, Johnson can play right wing. I don't see Mikey Moore being much more than we've got. Min Hyuk, who comes in January as well. The new,
he looks decent.
Yeah, so it's just a case of saying that we need a good winger. I think, especially with Kulusevski playing more centrally.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, we'll see.
We're going to wrap it up here, guys. So Dominic Solanke, Jay's excited. Pedro Neto, is he worth 51 million? Zubimendi and Merino, will the deals not happen? Could they fall through? Like, if they're getting offered to get paid the highest ever in the club's history, that's ridiculous. Man City, Man United tomorrow, we'll see. And by the way, I'm gassed. Another bid came in for Eddie Nketiah. You guys were telling me, oh, we're stupid to reject the 27 million. Guess what? Now we might get 30 million.
You better not reject this one.
We're not going to reject this one. We actually already told them we're going to accept it before they even sent it. Anyways, that's it. We're out of here, people. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll be back tomorrow with an Arsenal video. We need to talk about it. What the hell are we going to do next? Anyways, we're out of here, people. Peace.